All right. Good morning. Good morning to the Dreammakers team, No Limit team. Folks, we are super duper excited because we've got a wonderful person, one of my new friends that I met on the cruise, and he is phenomenal. He is NASB's Rookie of the Year for 2023. And this gentleman, let me go ahead and tell you just a little bit about him because he is just magnetic. I know I sent you guys a video yesterday about him accepting the award in the middle of the British Virgin Islands. It was absolutely gorgeous that entire trip. But Mr. Mason Hassan, let me just kind of check this out here. You ready for this? So this gentleman right here is typically used to doing 5 presentations per day, no less than 8,000 per week, spending anywhere from $300 to $800 a week when it comes to leads. Last year, he netted over 250,000, issued 320,000 of AP. That was his first full year with North American Senior Benefits, and he deposited over $160,000 of cash, cold hard cash, in his bank account. So, Mr. Mason, do I have you, sir?
Yep, you got me loud and clear.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun meeting you. And I've got 21 questions to ask you, the Rookie of the Year. I kind of like the kid as your nickname. I know some people call you the young Elvis, but I don't know. I just like the kid. Which nickname do you like better?
I mean, honestly, I like both of them. I mean, it started out as the kid just because I was 18 when I came into the business, but Martin Primetime actually started calling me Young Elvis, and I kind of see it a little bit, but I like both of them. So yeah.
Amen. Amen. And you're just so magnetic in your personality and you're so warm hearted. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I know that we were just kind of following each other around the whole ship and just like, oh my gosh, like tell me this and tell me that. And let me ask you this. You already told us your age. So you're 19 right now, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Excellent. Second question. Where are you from?
So originally I'm from Chicago, but now living in Denver.
Denver, Colorado. Excellent. I
hmm
actually have an interview with somebody today from Denver, Colorado. Why? What? Tell me about Denver, Colorado, because I know that obviously it's super duper cold over there. It's snowing over there. Tell me about that area. Why do you like building in that area? Why do you like working in that area?
Yeah, so I moved out to Denver about 3 years ago, mostly just for family. Wanted to get out of Chicago, and it's a new market for NASB. So we didn't have really previously any agents, at least coming from the Sales Mafia. We didn't have any agents out here in Denver, so it was a new market, new opportunities out here, and so I think that just the area out here is it's super ripe for what we do. There's a lot of need. There's a lot of need to be filled here. So that's what I love about working here. It's been pretty great. There's been struggles, but I think that's pretty much you know to be expected with any with opening any market.
Yeah. So when you're going into a market, I know that when we were looking at Colorado, one of the things was leads. So kind of still in that same question where you're from. So you kind of you're in this market. There wasn't a lot of leads. So what was the tactic there when it came to kind of building up an area that didn't really have a lot of leads to work around?
Yeah, so it took time.
Okay.
So I remember when I started out, all that we really had available were like 4-year-old check leads, like 5-year-old memorials, and data leads. And so, when me and my older brother Connor we started working, the freshest leads that we could get, which were those super old check leads and data leads, was really just our bread and butter. We just had to make it work off of what we could. And obviously we started dropping lead orders immediately. And a few months in, we had the overflow list popping with those leads.
Amen. Amen. I like hearing that. I like just the fact of you just saying you got to be patient. You got to be patient with that
Mhm.
system to really be able to build up the area. Now, tell me, what industry did you come from? I know that you graduated from high school. Why didn't you go to college, or did you go to college? What industry did you come from?
Yeah, so I just did not see myself ever really going to college. It just wasn't for me. I came from the cabinet building industry, actually. It was a kind of furniture and cabinet building. And yeah, it was worked in my dad's business that he had in Chicago, and then I came out and worked for a cabinet building company out here for a few years before I started NASB.
Okay, so you're working in high school then. Is that
hmm
correct? Okay, good.
Yes.
And your work ethic. I mean, going into that industry, I'm assuming that you had to have a very good work ethic. So, is
hmm
that kind of going from that industry going into insurance sales? What really was the big difference maker there?
Yeah, so I would say the biggest, with whenever you work blue collar, it's difficult, hard work, and that's why I always say that we always look for people who are willing to work a lot for a little, and so that's what I was forced to do because I had to work overtime and I had to do these dusty, dirty jobs, and it helped translate well to being super grateful for what I'm doing now. That even though I may have those days that I struggle, I'm like, heck, I'm not dealing with sawdust and drills and hammers and glue and all this crap from my previous job. So it's definitely made me a lot more grateful.
Amen on that one. And let me ask you this. So Martin Malota, he is your direct coach. Is that correct? On Evan Proach's.
No, 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 no. So I'm direct to Joe Betterman, who's direct to Evan Proach.
There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I met Joe. He's a super duper nice guy. So how did you actually get approached to this industry? NASB is probably, I'm assuming, your first love, first insurance
Mhm.
company, hopefully your last. There is no stomping ground to another IMO. And how did you get approached to this career?
Yeah, so me and my family have known Joe Betterman for a long time, and he reached out to my older brother, Connor. They call him Buff, and he came out and flew out to Denver, did a ride along with him, and deposited about $4,000 in about 3 days, and showed him the opportunity. And so that was it for my older brother. He was like, you know what, I'm done with. He was working at the same job I was. And he was like, you know what, I'm done with this. He started back in, I want to say it was about April of 2022. And then I started later on that year in October to November of 2022.
Okay, so really just a few months in for 2022, and then you had your full year for 2023. And let me ask you this, what attracted you the most? So when Joe Betterman was talking to you, clearly you're in warm market because he obviously talked to your brother Connor. And then how did Connor have that conversation with you? You're just like, what? This is crazy.
Yeah, so it was really just watching just how much joy he was getting out of working with NASB because I mean I was still working that 9 to 5. I was watching not only him start to pay for lunches, pay for dinners. I mean, we would go out with friends and he would just take the bill. And I was like, well, geez, this guy's got to be doing well, right? And and then him being able to work, have that time freedom, him being able to take off days when he wanted to, and not only that, because Connor's got a super high worth ethic, him being able to work as much as he wants and to be able to deposit as much as he wanted. And so I would say it was those things right there that really was like, all right, I need to make this change because I'm not going to live this rat race, W-2 lifestyle for the rest of my life. And so really glad that I did.
Now, did you have any pushback like from your parents or loved ones or anything?
Not really. I think they were a little bit concerned as far as it being my first sales job, of course. But besides that, I think they were pretty happy that I decided to take this opportunity.
Amen. Amen. I love that. Who would you say is your hero?
Probably my dad.
Tell me why.
He's just he's just a man of faith. He's a man of God. I've always respected him. He's been very successful in his lifetime, and he actually works with us now. And he's right as of right now, he's the top agent on Sales Mafia year to date. So
Wait,
yeah,
what? Your dad is also with us?
yes, my dad works with us as well.
Holy crap.
Yes.
Okay, so let me make sure I've got this straight. Okay. So are you direct to Connor, your big brother, since he got started first?
Hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're direct to Connor. And now is your dad, is he on your team?
No, so both myself and my dad are direct to Connor.
No way. No pressure for Connor whatsoever. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, that is generational wealth, generational legacy right
Hmm.
there. That is so awesome. My dad is also my hero for sure. And you talk about the grit, you talk about the work ethic, and just a man of God and faith. I would definitely say my dad as well for sure. Now, let me ask you this question. Okay, so question number 6. In your first 3 months, what was your biggest struggle that you had to overcome? So in October 2022, you got started really excited. Your brother was depositing all this money. What would you say was your biggest struggle that you had to overcome back then?
Yeah, so coming to my first sales job, I would say a lot of it was just it was such a new thing for me. So I never worked sales before. I never sold, door to door. I'd never done anything sales. And so I would say it's just kind of learning not only the NASB system, but really implementing that. And just yeah, just that it really is a struggle coming from blue collar, working a 9 to 5, just that work that you don't even really have to think when you're doing it, to really focusing on everything that you're saying in these houses, really going through these 10 steps, making sure that you know you don't mess up, you get these sales, and taking your income into your own hands, which can be really scary for a lot of people, and it was scary for me when I first started. But you know uh putting the work in, God's been good, and so I've really made it work.
So what step was it in the presentation that you were struggling the most with? I know for me, it was the prescriptions. Back then, man, I didn't even know how to say, I'm sure I'm not even saying it correct now, like lisinopril, right? Like and like promestatin. And so what was it for you? I know step three was difficult for me, and I tried to use more of my sales charm versus actually studying the system, which blows my mind to this day of why did I waste a year using my sales charm, all the sales I missed because I just didn't take the discipline to really study the active living benefits, the WellRx card, understanding what other benefits our seniors could really take a hold of. So, what was it for you?
Yeah, so I would definitely say that once I started my second or third week, I wrote 9K, which was amazing. I was just really focusing on, recording my presentations. I was texting them to my coach. They were critiquing me. And after I wrote that 9K, I was like, well, gosh, I'm doing pretty well. And that week after, I almost zeroed the entire week because I was skipping the connecting step.
Mm.
So I got back in the car with my manager, and he went and reviewed my presentation. And I was skipping that step because I was seeing the deposits from that 9K week and seeing, well, look, I just need to get a policy. And I was skipping one of the most important steps. And I think Craig has made us stop saying that this is the most important step, but it is the most important step because people buy from who they like. So if they don't like you, they're not going to buy from you. And I was skipping that super important step, which was connecting. And now I never skip it. But I would say, it's especially when you see those deposits from those first few sales, you'll be motivated to just get the sale. And it's so important to really focus on every single step.
Amen. Amen. Let me ask you this question number 7. What is your best time management tip? So, obviously, we're looking at schedule now. And what is your best time management tip?
Yeah, holding yourself to a standard. So, what I'll do is, I obviously have a running mate, which is someone else from the Sales Mafia team, who keeps me accountable to be in the field at a certain time. I keep him accountable to be in the field at a certain time, and really not letting each other slack off. So, I've had those conversations. I've had those calls where, I got in the field an hour or two later, than I should have, and those conversations of like, look, what are you doing? Get in the field, get your ass in the field now. It's really just helping, having someone keeping you accountable is super important for time management. And then once you create that schedule, once you create that habit, it really becomes very, very difficult to break it. So that's what I would say.
Amen. I feel like motivation gets you started, but discipline and habits is what will allow you to keep the momentum continuing forward. So let me ask you this. What does your daily routine look like? So from the time that you wake up, what does it look like? Are you an early morning bird, 5 a.m.? What does it really look like? Just kind of give us a snapshot of what your daily routine looks like for you.
Yeah, so I'm not an early morning person, but I've kind of been forced to be an early morning person because well, I'm 2 hours behind of Eastern. So I'm up at 6 every morning, on that morning call, which is at 6:30 for us. And so I kind of been forced to be ready at that time. And then I'm hitting my first door no later than 9:30. So I keep hold myself to that standard. If there's something I need to get done, if there's a carrier I need to call, I'm making sure that I at least have like an hour where everything is ready and all my leads are routed, any admin work is done. And if I need to make a few calls to carriers, I'll do that. I'll go grab breakfast or something. And then I'm knocking my first door at about 9:15. And so, unless there's something I have going on, like a doctor's appointment or something like that, I'm really never breaking that schedule.
Excellent. So is it the night before? Like, what do you do the night before? Are you preparing that route? Do you already have an idea of where you're going, or are you just kind of like, oh, kind of winging it, like, oh, maybe I'll go here today. Tell me what that looks
Yeah.
like as far as that night.
Well, yeah. So anything that you can do the night before, you should. So that means leads routed, cancellations sent in. Obviously, we can't really be calling carriers, but pretty much anything, policy rewrite, having to rewrite policies, doing all that the night before. I want to make sure that I am fresh and ready for the morning. And obviously, we'll get our lead orders in the morning, so I'll sometimes have to route those. But anything that I'm getting on the overflow, I'm making sure that I'm getting it the night before I'm hitting the field, so I know what area I'm working. I'm never guessing and trying to see, oh, well, maybe I'll work at this area today. I really like to set out my schedule, which has really been a huge proponent of my success in this industry.
Amen. Absolutely. I know that Josh Sherrill introduced me to the app WeekCal, WeekCal, and it's just a phenomenal way to audit your time, and everything is synced to like a Calendly, but then also even your Google Calendar. So it's kind of cool. Are you more of a door knocker or a call a header or an appointment taker? What would you say that you are?
I'm a door knocker. I don't try to call ahead. I just knock doors. That's what I do.
Hey, okay, cool. So no appointment setter. You just go attack it. You've got the lead in your hand. You're good to go.
Exactly.
Nice. Awesome. Preferred lead type. So what would you say is your preferred lead type, then also the approximate lead investment per week? I know that we talked about it in the beginning, but what would you say on average lead investment is per week, and what preferred type?
So I'm going to say something a little weird here.
Totally
All
cool.
of them,
Nice.
because all of them are a lead is a legitimate excuse to be at the door, and all leads suck. Anyone who tells you that our leads are better, they're lying to you. All leads suck. Our leads just suck a little bit less. So all leads. I know yesterday I wrote 3,800 off of TNOX and 4-year-old check leads. So really any lead type at all is gonna work. I know went through a phase where I was like only working memorials, and that was I just realized the dangers of doing that, because there's a lot of lay down sales in certain lead types, and you'll get addicted to working that one lead type, and I just realized that really all lead types, because all leads suck. And it really just depends on what it comes down to. How good is your door approach? How good is your presentation? How high is your activity? Because that's going to be the determiner of your success in this industry. Not the leads you're working, not the area you're working. It's really those things.
Boom. Oh my gosh, you could have dropped the mic right there. How high is your activity, not the leads or air that you're working? Phenomenal. I love your response. I mean, seriously, and you're so cool, calm, and collected. I'm sure the folks that are listening in, they're just amazed that, regardless of the age that you are, you're just so calm and collected. You're not nervous. Phenomenal job. And let me ask you this question number 11. How would you describe your relationship with your direct upline? So, obviously, your brother, and then with Joe Betterman and Evan Proach, because I cannot wait to text Evan Proach right now and be like, literally, this is like the mini brother of Evan Proach, minus the fact that you have dark hair because he's got blonde hair. But gosh, you sound like Evan Proach. No wonder. You've just been such a great student of the system. So tell me about that. Describe that relationship that you have with your upline.
Yeah, so I've been super thankful for this. I have an amazing relationship with my upline, both Joe, Evan, and my brother. Um, you know, Obviously there's certain things that being 19, I don't see eye to eye with someone who's 25 and has 2 kids, and Evan who's 35 and has a daughter, and but there's a lot of things that I can learn from them. And I want to be at Evan's place as soon as possible. And so honestly, my relationship with my upline is really great. It's really just trying to learn from them, and we do get along. We do we do see eye to eye on pretty much everything, and it really comes down to I'm here to learn. If there's something that I'm learning that I've just kind of learned on my own, that maybe is something that kind of a little bit out of the box, I'll take that to Evan first and be like, well, hey, what do you think about this? And really just focusing on trying to learn from them, because he's been in the industry for 15 years. Obviously, he's a full partner, one of the biggest teams in NASB. And so, really I'm just trying to learn from them. Evan's one of my mentors, so it's really I have an amazing relationship with them.
Amen. And is the communication, is it daily? Is it weekly? Role playing, how do you take criticism? I call it like coaching criticism. How would you take that? Tell me about that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I would say communicate almost daily, if not every day. It's just a phone call or a text just to check in. Especially as far as like, recruiting and, new agents, just situations that's going on. I would say it's daily. Um, and yeah, just taking criticism is a huge thing, constructive criticism. So obviously over the year, over my past 15 months here with NASB, 14 months, however long it's been, there's been a lot of that, I would say. So yeah, it's just learn to have a humble mindset, and just kind of realizing that well, look, these guys have been in the industry longer than I have. They've got a lot of knowledge, and I better sit down, shut up, and take it, and learn from them. So yeah.
That's awesome. I know that one of the big habits is being able to ask for feedback from somebody and then taking it well. You don't ask for feedback and then not take it well. So phenomenal job there. What would you say is your biggest motivator that has pushed you to being the rookie of the year?
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm sure you've read Craig Harvey's book Driven, and I would say the two things that are most motivating for me is recognition and revenge. And so I'll touch on both those. I love being recognized. Obviously, I went for rookie agent of the year. I always love getting called on morning calls. Speaking on different topics, Zoom calls, whatever it may be. I love that. And I remember when I was leaving my last job, I was kind of in the process of heading out the door. We had these little like quarterly performance reviews and stuff, and my last boss told me that he was really proud of what I was doing, and he thought I was doing a great job and everything, and that in 4 to 5 years he could see me making $25 an hour. And I was like, well, great. That sounds amazing. And so I want to deposit more than him this year. And so that's my revenge right there.
Oh.
Um, so yeah, I would say those are my two biggest motivators right there.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I know so many people, revenue is that number one, typically in the beginning. But sometimes you just got to have that chip on your shoulder of somebody that tells you that you can't do something. I have
Hmm.
had so many people tell me in my life, Ashley, nope, you're too short. Nope, you can't do this. You can't play volleyball. Not going to make the team on this one. And gosh darn it, boy, did I want to prove them wrong. Whenever somebody tells you that
Hmm.
you can't do something, you just pretty much tell the world, watch out. Let me show you.
Hmm.
And love those. Biggest pro tip rebuttal to a door objection. So let's do a little role play here, okay? So I'm going to be the senior, you're the agent, and I'm going to give you an objection and a typical objection that most people see at the door. So go ahead and give us your door approach. I'm the senior, and then I'm going to give you an objection. Ready, set, go.
All right, knock, knock, knock.
Hello.
Hey, Miss Ashley.
Hi.
Hi, Ashley. I'm so sorry to catch you off guard. I'm Mason. I'm the benefits coordinator out here in Arapahoe County, licensed by the state. Hey, great news. We got that. We got that form that you'd filled out. Tell me, sweetheart, that should be your signature right there.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, look, they just sent me out here to go over some of these additional state benefits with you. Just need a few minutes. Shoes on or off?
Totally off. But what's this all about again?
Yeah, yeah. So you remember filling out that form right there? That was your signature. You actually did get approved for some additional state benefits, discounts, and updates. I'm just here to go over those with you, see if we're able to help you out, and then I'll be on my way. Just need a few minutes. Is there a good place we could sit down?
Yeah, sure. Come on in. But let me ask you this. I think somebody from your company was out here about a month ago.
Oh, really interesting. I mean, I was the first. This came across my desk this morning. Like, I'm wondering why someone else would have gotten sent out. We do get this does happen sometimes. So I just got to make sure that you're checked off on my list and I'm doing my due diligence. I know you may have sat with someone before, but I got to make sure that I sit with you because I'm sure that whoever came out, they weren't as good looking as me. So I just need a few minutes with you.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love it. Oh, so cool, calm and collected. That's awesome. Question number 14 is what is your favorite step in the presentation and why? Is it connect? I know that you said that earlier. What is your favorite step where you just get like so excited?
Yeah, I would say it's probably connecting or the policy review because I love making insurance companies shoot themselves in the foot. But I also love connecting with these clients and just learning about their life and everything like that. We really do get to sit with some pretty cool people, and so I love that.
Amen. Okay, how about this? How about a pro closing power statement? So you're going into step 8. You've already done the in and up, and you've already pretty much selected the care that you want to go to. And then she says, I want to think about it. What do? What's a power statement that you got?
Yeah, so that's a great question right there. Um, Yeah, so my power statement when someone says, "Look, I just need a few minutes to think about it, need a week to think about it," is, "Well, look, of course you do. Let me just see if I can get you approved. We'll get that policy sent out to you in the mail, and then you'll have material to look over that, and you'll have time to think about it before anything goes through. Go grab me your driver's license." So with that, I always end with an elective. Go grab me your driver's license is the best thing to end with. Instead of just opening up the e-app as they're grabbing their driver's license, I'm opening up the e-app and getting ready to get to get that application down.
Mm. And with an elective, I love it. Telling them to go do something, go make them move. What is your
Mhm.
viewpoint? Question number 16. What's your viewpoint of ride-alongs after your initial field training? So I know that you did a ride-along with Connor. Do you guys do ride-alongs throughout the week with your buddies, your colleagues? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I love doing ride-alongs. I've actually got 3 this week to do. Um, yeah, as far as just to clarify on your question, like me getting back in the car with my manager or me getting in people in my car.
So not people from your team that your shadow, like they're doing a shadow ride along with you. For example, your running mates or potentially cross line. Do you guys?
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. Every once in a while, I'll get in the car with let's say if I'm going through a slump or someone else on my team is going through a slump, we'll get back in the car, just hit the reset button, and go and split business, and really, I always make sure that if I'm getting in the car with a fellow agent, that we're making it a power day. We're hitting it from 9:15 till dark, and once it gets dark, we're doing call aheads, and we're getting that very last sale. So yeah, so I love doing that, being able to help out fellow agents, but I'm making sure that we're not ending our day at 5:30. We're ending our day at 8 p.m. And then we're going out and getting drinks afterwards or something like that.
Well, making it a good day, one day. So
Yes.
just a couple more questions, then we'll be done here, wrapping up here. So fast like a bunny here. Biggest takeaway from your initial training on the field that catapulted your success. So what is something that you learned in your initial training that maybe Connor or Joe or Evan taught you that really catapulted your success?
Yeah. So the first thing is just to be a sponge. You have to be taking in as much information from every successful agent in this industry. Whether that be a partner, whether that be an agent of the year, rookie agent, whatever it may be. You really have to be a sponge, and you know, one of the biggest things is searching for corrective criticism, searching for that correction from your team, from your coach. So what I would do is I would record my presentations, even when I was a month or two in and I was doing pretty well. I would record my presentations and text it to my coach, looking for what am I missing, what can I be doing better, and so I would say it's definitely those things.
Love that. How do you brand yourself with your clients? What's something like in step number 10 that you brand yourself with as far as like a takeaway
Yeah.
folder?
Yeah, so branding is obviously one of the most important steps. I would say branding is where you keep your business. Obviously, you've written the policy, you got the approval, the policy just issued and everything like that. Most people, what they'll want to do is be like, "Oh, great, let me get out of this house as soon as possible. I just got this approval." But there's a few things that I'm doing. I'm leaving them a value sheet of the company that we signed them up with. So I'm leaving them a mutual Omaha value sheet. I'm leaving them like a little sheet that we have printed off that gives them some basic info on their policy, when it's drafting, the fact that its whole life, it's never going to go up, never going to increase, it's day one, and what their premium and face amount is. And then a few really important things is if you don't have refrigerator magnets, you need to get those. So refrigerator magnets, I save my contact in their phone. In fact, what I've been doing recently is I've actually been saving my picture in their contact in their phone. So we like, I'll make them go grab me their smartphone. I save, save my contact in there. I take a quick selfie with them, and then and then I make sure that they know that if they have any questions, no matter what time of the day is, they pick up the phone, they type in insurance, my name pops up, and they call me. And so those are the most important things. And I wasn't doing that because I was getting excited, after getting that approval. I was just getting out of the house and having to call these clients, later on to update them on something. They were like, well, who is this? And so, it's a super important step. Kid definitely cannot miss that, because most insurance agents won't do that. So that's something that sets apart NASB from a lot of other IMOs and a lot of other insurance companies, is how good we are at branding.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's those things right there. Really got to be focusing on that.
Amen. I know that something that we've been doing is whenever you have the client intake sheet and you're saving that to your iPad, also save the picture with you and that client, because it has worked so much in our favor that if some other agent tries to replace your business, it's amazing to have, oh yeah, we did see this client. Here's the picture. Here's the day that we took care of them. Here's the data sheet that we had on them, and just shows you like, hey, look, we did see this client. So three more questions
Exactly.
and then we're done. We're wrapping up here. How would
And
you?
just one
Oh,
thing to touch on that. If
yes,
the client's a little bit more tech savvy, this is something I learned from someone else on my team. I will send them a text with the picture that we took, with the client photo, just to kind of open up that communication right there. And then just something, little message like, thank you so much for sitting with me today. I'm so glad I was able to help you out, or something like that.
I love that. I mean, just it's putting a fence around those seniors. How would you rate yourself with gaining referrals? So gaining
Yeah.
referrals.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be honest, I'm not the best with referrals. I always do ask for them. Sometimes I'll make them pull out their phone and like call their daughter, call one of their family members. If they mention that someone else in their family has life insurance, those are the people I'm trying to call. And one thing I've been doing recently is I'll keep an envelope with $20 bills in my binder, and I'll pull that out. I'll be like, look, I got to get rid of this by the end of the week. So who do you know that I can help out that has insurance? Because we know that we can help people out who have insurance. Those are the people we need to sit with. Who has insurance, or who do you know who's looking for insurance? And that's a big motivator, especially when they see the cash in hand. And then a lot of the times I would say with referrals, and this is something a lot of people skip over, is that if there's a family member in the home, if there's a brother, sister, if there's a roommate, after I'm getting that approval, I'm always turning over to them and be like, hey, what do you have for life insurance? And so many of my sales that I would have missed if I didn't say that have come from them being like, oh, well, I think I got an AARP, and me just being like, go grab that policy for me. So it's I would say it's those two things right there, super important for referrals.
Love that. And I know, I think in the state of North Carolina, I can't remember what the what the projection as far as how much money. I know that, just for us, to be careful with rebating so we don't get caught with that, is gift cards. Hey, Miss Johnson, I've got all these $5 Walmart gift cards. I've got all these $5, Chick-fil-A gift cards. Hey, listen, how about you just go ahead and get your neighbor on the phone right now, and I'll go ahead and stop by and see them, and I'll give you this $5, Chick-fil-A gift card. So when did you know, two last questions, when did you know that you were ready to build? I know that you told me that you already have a couple of agents now with you, your field training, your shadow ride-alongs. When did you know that you were ready to start building?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really think anyone feels that they're ready to start building. I just think it's something that kind of happens naturally. And really, I still get nervous when I get in the field with the ride along and hoping that I don't strike out. But I always tell them, look, I'll show them my deposits. I'll show them, deposits from the week before, whether that's 2 grand or whether that's, 5 grand or 7 grand, however much it is. I always show them that. And I'd be like, look, you know that I can make money. You see these insurance companies paying me. I'm going to try to show you a sale today. But in fact, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to show you the most difficult day in the field. Because if you can handle these difficult days of us maybe not finding someone home today, or maybe not hitting the goal that we want to hit, then I know that you can handle the good days, because these are the good days right here. And these days are awesome. So, I would say I don't think really anybody feels that they're ready at any point to get people in the car. I would say that my manager started putting people in my car like, earlier. And it was something that I just became more and more comfortable with. And so it was really, really promoted by my upline to get people in my car. And not only that, him when he was going through cold market recruiting or warm market recruiting, actually putting people in my car. That was super helpful for that.
Amazing. Here comes the last question. Are you ready for this? What's the number one quality, in your opinion, someone must possess to be successful here?
Coachability. You have to be coachable. You can't come in with a hot head. You can't come in thinking because you worked at sales before that you're going to be good at this industry. You have to listen to people that that have been doing this and that have been making this work. I remember I had an agent a while back who that was his thing that he lacked in. He was not coachable at all. He ended up not making it here, sadly. And so you just have to be coachable. You don't have to be good at sales. I didn't. I never worked in sales before. I like to say I'm not a salesman. I'm just good at NASB. So I would say just you have to be coachable.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. It's like I can't type fast enough. Guys, girls, phenomenal job, Mason. Thank you so much for being our special guest on today's Turn It Up Tuesday Zoom. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Great notes, folks. Let's make it a great day. And thank you again, Mason, for a phenomenal Zoom. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.